All right, I'm here with Jacob Lefton, 2L JD EASL honor student. We're here at the top of day 2, counseling creators. Jacob, talk to us a little bit. How's the experience been so far? You're not just here, but you're also on the planning committee.
Yeah, I mean, it's been an amazing experience. Going back a month when Greg asked me to be a part of this planning committee, I was like automatically like, yes, that's something I want to do. A year ago, I was able to come to this conference and listen to the speakers, and it's just always such an interesting conversation, innovative ideas, and some of the best in the business that are here giving their advice and sharing insights that are just unavailable to people. So I think being able to come and take advantage of this opportunity is unique and something that if you aren't doing, definitely should be doing, and growing this conference into something that it's become now this year. Just looking back in the crowd and seeing how many people are there, it's awesome. It's super cool. It's packed seats. The speakers are amazing, and it's been great. And the planning process was hectic. It was busy, but it definitely paid off. And I think that a lot of the people here appreciate that, and you can see it in the work product.
So we talk a lot about in the EASL program and here at Miami Law, the strength of our community. I mean, you hear me use that word all the time, and you kind of see that play out right in the room right here. I mean, we just got off this panel on brand deals, advertising and influencer marketing, right? And I look left to right on the panel, and it's just all-star after all-star representing, very diverse parts of the industry. What has that meant to you as a student? Like, because you're not just seeing it, but you've leaned into the community.
Yeah, I mean, the community is 100% everything. It's everything. I think I've done as best as I can of going to every single event and staying there the entire time. Like last night, I was one of the last people to leave. I look around, I'm like, there's no one else even here anymore. And it's been fun, though. It's been fun to do that. Like, I thoroughly enjoy, like, meeting new people, talking, picking their brains. And it's not like you're talking to people that you don't relate with. You're talking to people that you share the same passions. They were in your shoes 10, 15, 20 years ago, and they want to help. Like, these people want to help you. So I think just taking advantage of it while they're there and in front of you is a great opportunity. And the network of people in the EASL program is like a web. Like, that's how I think of it. Like, one person's connected to another person is connected to another person. So you meet one, they'll introduce you to someone else, they introduce you to someone else, and you never know when those people are going to come around and be a resource for you. And these people like want to mentor you, want to coach you, want to help you, and I've taken full advantage of it. You only have the @miami.edu in your email one time. So I've taken advantage of that fully. And it's been a blessing being a part of this program, truly. Like, the amount of people that I've been able to network with, build relationships with, and now to the point where I could just pick up the phone and ask for advice is now a different level of that network that I love. I think it's great, and I want to be a part of that network as well as I advance in my career and move from level to level to level. I always say I want to give back and be the same resource that I have so many of now today.
So I say this a lot, which is that I think that this program does a really good job of bringing you to the water, and I think it goes to the next step. We actually take the cup and we fill it with the water, right? But it's on you to drink that water, right?
I like that.
Not only have you drank the water, you're chugging the water, right?
Yeah.
And you're like, refill,
Yeah.
and then you're bringing me to new water,
Yeah.
And so talk to me a little bit about your experience. I mean, you've really mastered the art of networking, and it's, I know, something that you're passionate about, and it's something that you, I think, like I said, you're a leader within our student community. Talk to me a little bit about kind of your approach.
Yeah, so I think when you get into this EASL program day one, I feel like there's almost a sense of entitlement among some of the people. Like, wow, like there's so much given to you here that it's almost like there's almost too much opportunity, that to the point where it's like, what am I going to do with this? Like, how am I going to make the most of this opportunity? You're able to have all these people in your corner, but it's like, how are you going to utilize that and like use that to your advantage? And like, are you just going to show up and like have a glass of wine and not really talk to anyone and leave? Or are you going to like build those connections and like truly like find mentors that will like help you and be in your corner? That's something that's been really important for me. And I try to go like above and beyond. Like, when I got here, I knew like I'm not going to be a main student in this program unless I put a value upon myself. And I made it a point my first summer. It was a goal of mine. Like, I need to be in this industry. That's what I want to do. And it was like a risk that I took. I gambled on myself, and I went to a company that no one in the program's ever worked for before. I worked at PrizePix. Unbelievable experience. And I have mentors that I talk to weekly from there. And that never would have happened unless I took it upon myself to reach out and take the tools that I've learned in the EASL program and then build those connections. And that got me PrizePix. And then from that, I was able to get NBC Universal through a mentor that I met along this route. And now we have PrizePix and NBC Universal like on the board and growing, and another student at PrizePix, another student just got an offer at NBC Universal. Mm-hmm. It's like amazing seeing how this grows, and I love being a part of it, like a very small part of it. But it's just cool. Like now it's like two massive companies that are now a part of this, and now what could be next? What could be next? What could be next? It's kind of like what we're always thinking about. Like, what's the next big thing?
And I think something also is that like we talk about like we build this together, right? It's not about me. It's not about our board. It's not about our leadership team. It's about everybody, right? Yeah. And the students play just as big of a role, if not bigger, right? Yeah. Because the reason people want to engage and the reason people keep coming back and fly down from New York to judge and to be a part of these events, right, is because they see the value in helping, in mentoring, all the things that you just said, right? Yeah. And you lean in.
I was just going to say buy in. Yeah, it's not going to happen by just showing up. Like, it's nice to have a room full of people, but any school could have a room full of people. It's about the people that are buying in, going up, making meaningful connections.
There's levels to this engagement.
Yeah, there's definitely levels. Like, you can show up and not make connections and not have a meaningful impact and not put an impression onto this mentor that you're talking to, like this absolute industry leader. Yeah. You can talk to them and not really ask any insightful questions, ask for a job, and then it's like, all right, well, that didn't do anything. But if you come here, you lean in, you're really able to ask engaging questions and like truly like build that relationship instead of just like, how do I get a job? Yeah. I think you can make those connections be worthwhile for you.
Yep.
Yeah.
So so the other thing I guess I want to kind of turn to is a little bit about the kind of the curriculum, because that's a huge part of the program here. And you're 2L, so you started to dip your toe into the water in some of the more specialized courses. Talk to me a little bit about your experience. Like, for instance, you just took repping the professional athlete, I believe, right, with Professor Carfagna. Yeah. Talk to me, and you took soccer law in the fall.
Soccer law, NIL, women in professional sport.
Yeah, so talk to me a little bit about those courses, and what do you think, you have friends at other law schools, like what do you think makes those courses different or unique?
Yeah, so being on the planning committee for this conference, I was able to talk to a lot of different students at a lot of different schools, and some of them have shown up, and we were talking at the happy hour last night, actually, and they were like, wow, our symposium was nothing like this. And I was like, this isn't even the symposium. This is just an event in February that we do, So it's just like really interesting to see like what's going on at other schools. Doesn't even begin to compare to what we do here and the amount of leaders that we bring. And like, as I'm trying to recruit teams to come participate here, I'm telling them the speakers that we had last year, LVMH, Endeavor, WWE, like all these unbelievable organizations and law firms, companies that come here. None of these industry leaders go to any of those other schools. So it's like unmatched. And then the classwork is unbelievable. Like Terry Carmichael Jackson taught our WNBA course. Darren Heitner taught our NIL course. Obviously, Peter Carfagna teaches representing professional athlete. These are some of the best people in the industry and like some of the most forward-thinking individuals.
The chief legal officer of FIFA.
Chief legal officer of FIFA is pretty cool.
Garcia Silvera with a little guest appearance from
which you now see
the Prez.
Yeah, which you see him all the time on TV now too. He's like very public facing. So I think that was even cooler now looking back on it. Like, wow, this is truly an amazing experience that no one else even gets to try to have.
So there's a layer of this which obviously looks great in the pictures, right? But talk a little bit more, like dig beneath the surface. What are the skills and
just an example? Darren Heitner's NIL class. I thought that class was unbelievable. Unbelievable what he would do. He was bringing in these contracts that big teams in NCAA are giving out to their athletes for name, image, and likeness deals, and maybe it's with the collective, maybe it's just from the school itself. But he went line by line through every page, like a 15-page contract, line by line through the contract. If I'm representing the athlete in this, I'm going to strike this line. I'm going to replace it with this because of this exclusivity we don't like, and we want to replace it with this. Line by line through every different section of the contract, kind of what he would strike if he was on one side, what he would want if he was representing the school. And that's just an experience that you normally just don't get in law school regardless, but you definitely don't get it in a specialized field, such as like sports and NIL and collegiate athletes. Like this field is just booming right now and is like unknowns as what's going on. And the fact that he's going line by line through a contract, truly teaching us, like asking questions. What would you guys think that you would put here? What would be your best argument? That's just an amazing experience. I told him after class, I was like, thank you so much for doing that with us. Like no one really takes the time in law school to go line by line, what you should edit, what you should do. But like working at NBC Universal, that's what it is. It's like, what language should you put in this contract? We need to get this deal done. Like, what are you going to put in? What are you actually going to do? What are you going to redline? And that's just an experience that you don't get taking your normal classes, your normal contract drafting classes even. It's just learning from people that are leaders in the field that are able to tell you, this is what I do. This is what I think is the best thing to do. It's like, okay, well, I want to implement that into my agreements now.
And then it's reps, right? I mean, like we make sure throughout the program that you have so many reps at this because it takes repeated, practice, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you're in school, you're here to learn, you're here to grow, right?
Yeah.
And by doing it in a simulation-based learn by doing methodology, which is very much kind of at the core of the program, you'll leave here, having looked at and actually, done pieces of negotiating and drafting,
It makes you look good too. I mean, you're able to go into interviews and be like, I understand how certain clauses work and like what the repercussions of it is. Like, do I get damages from this? Like, what if my client doesn't want damages and they want like this event to actually happen? Like they want you to come. Like then what would I say? So it's like it gives you things to talk about. It gives you an experience that you don't have by just being in a classroom. Like you truly have things to be able to talk about and like experience that you've gained.
Also, maybe talk a little bit about another really unique part of this program is the international programs, right?
Yeah.
And you've been here in Madrid. You're going to the comparative sports IP law in Florence, and just talk a little bit about obviously the world is global, right? And you can't ignore that. And so part of the goal of these programs is to provide that important international perspective, help you build an international network.
Yeah.
At the same time, there's a huge community bonding aspect to this, right? In terms of, bringing the group closer together because, our idea here is 10, 15, 20 years from now, these are going to be some of the most important people in your network, the people that you're peer-to-peer with right now,
I think that sometimes you think, well, I'm in the U.S., so it's just the U.S. that matters. And that's just so wrong. Like some of these companies, if you want to work in sports and entertainment, like you truly want to be in this industry, it's an international industry. Like maybe you're working for a company in the US, but they want to be global. Like they want to be global. They want to be international. And so like I'm at NBC Universal now. We're doing deals in Mexico and all these different countries. And being able to have those experience on those international trips has given me a different perspective as to like, well, what's even the culture like there? Like, cause I think that's a big part of it too, is like, it's not so serious in some of these other countries as it is in the US where it's like, well, maybe we don't need to fight so hard for a certain clause in the agreement because it's just not how they operate over there. And then some of our professors over there, Frederica, like she commented on Hannah Lebovic's CONCACAF post the other day. Like they truly like want to be a part of the program and like help. Like I saw that and I was like, that's awesome. Yeah. And then this gentleman from the International Tennis Integrity Association, he came and spoke with us. And then we had an agent representing the professional athlete that came and spoke about a case that he was prosecuting. So it's just like, it's a full circle moment. And like you are able to hear now both perspectives of it. Because he's definitely the guy that was on the other side of it. Yeah. So it's really interesting being able to kind of get both perspectives and to see kind of what goes on behind the scenes. But you wouldn't be able to have those experiences without this program, without going to those different locations. But it's also an unbelievable trip. Very fun, great food. You're able to explore the cities, travel. So it's a good combination.
And I think also like with that, like you see, whether it's soccer and the growth of soccer here in the U.S., first it's Messi here in Miami, then FIFA moves their entire, legal and compliance department from Zurich to Miami. Then, we got Club World Cup 2025, World Cup 2026, North America, right? So you got that, right? And a lot of that in Madrid focused around European sports on kind of the soccer footprint. But now you got NFL going, abroad, global. Right? And 3 games in London, Germany, Madrid, Mexico City, Brazil. I mean, you have to be a global citizen professionally, right? To really be able to kind of fully appreciate and dive into these areas. And part of the goal of this program is, look, you're in school for 3.5 years here if you're going to do a joint degree. You know, you got to open your aperture in terms of what's possible, right? With this degree. And, you know, I could tell you that we've had students that have now kind of said, like having a career kind of at that intersection of international and sports and the law is of real interest. And, you know, we actually, from our Madrid trip, we now have a student that's going to be interning at Sony Music in Madrid this summer.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's
because
great.
of that relationship.
She was awesome too.
Aurora, yeah.
Yeah, she was awesome. Wow, that's great. Yeah, it's just a very unique opportunity. I just feel always very grateful. Like I was telling my mom the other day, I was like, oh, I just got off the phone with Greg. Like I have these couple opportunities. Like I'm just really excited. She was like, I can't wait to meet Greg. Like I just want to give him a big hug. Like he's been so great to you. And it's just like, I feel like I have like another, I don't even want to call you a mentor because you're really not. Like you're better than a mentor. You're like a friend, a colleague, a mentor, someone I look up to. And it's just been like great to have you in my corner and like always rooting for me, always cheering me on like throughout all these different experiences. And like the program's amazing. Everything about the program is like 10 out of 10. Like you promise things like during the interview, like to get in. And I said this the first day that you did something, I was like, you really do follow through on your promises. Like truly everything you say like happens. Like if you put in the work, everything you say happens.
That means a lot.
And so I just want to like thank you for that because you're truly like an amazing person. What you've built here is incredible, incredible, incredible. I will be sending people here the rest of my life. I will be taking interns from here 100%. But I just think you're an amazing person. What you've done here is amazing. And you get a lot of credit, but you don't still get enough credit.
Thank you.
It's like truly amazing. I kind of wanted to ask you, like, when was your vision moment? Like, this is what I want to do is like build the most premier sports and entertainment program in the world.
I mean, look, I always say like in life, I never tried to plan things too much. I never tried to kind of say like, okay, there's a roadmap, I'm going to follow it, because if you do, you lose sights of the zigzags along the way. If you're too like, tunnel vision on things and kind of, I kind of fell into this. I always wanted to be in and around sports. I never thought I'd be doing it from the seat. But what I quickly realized is we had such a powerful opportunity. We had so many things going for us. Not the least is the city of Miami. And that's something that we need to leverage, and I think we do leverage. Because it's so much happening in the city right now. And so I think for us, it's like for me, it was like, well, we have this opportunity to create community, and at my core, I like helping people, so it was like I was able to do this kind of like, I'm a people person, networking, right? And then I was able to bring the sports piece into it, and then I was able to help people, and it kind of just all kind of coalesced, And what I saw is like, look, at the beginning, it was tough. We were starting out, there were some headwinds for sure, right? But it's like once you get the ball rolling down the hill and it starts getting momentum, it's like everybody wants to jump on. If not, you just get run over, kind of thing.
Yeah, truly though.
And so that's just, and then it's just like part of it is, look, the thing I struggle with the most is like managing time management and managing it all, because I want to be able to give everything I can to students at the same time. Develop the relationships we have, maintain the relationships we have, develop new ones, and so it's a balance, but I love it. I love it. I get up every day loving what I do.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, the fact that you've touched hundreds of people's careers and been able to place people and make connections between people is just truly amazing. I can't even tell you how many people that I know now that are like, oh, Greg's been a friend for 15 years. I love Greg. And it's like, it's interesting how that all works. But it's a small world, and you've done an amazing job bringing everyone together here and building such an incredible program. So I'm very fortunate to be part of it.
I think as we wrap up, I just want to say, well, thank you for being you. As I said earlier, I mean, you've really been a standout. I remember, first time I met you in the interview, and then that January after kind of grades came back, and you were just like, you come back from break, and you're like, I met with all these people. I met with this, and I was just like, whoa, because you had it. You had the mindset. You need that mindset of like, and just kind of, you took the networking to another level, you know, and it's just amazing. And like I said, you've brought me to new waters, introduced, like you said, new relationships, rekindled old ones in terms of companies that we maybe haven't worked with, or, change over at the top that you've really kind of, firmly planted us now back in with those companies. And I can't thank you. And I just, honestly, I'm so excited to see what the future holds, because it's going to be great.
Yeah, me too. I'm thrilled. I'm excited. I'm pumped. And I can't wait to see what's next as well.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
All right. Thanks.